the actual presentation here. And afterwards, I believe JC can open us up for Q&A. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we're going to go over a few things here this morning. We're going to go over how to request a roofing quote, how to actually put that roofing price once you get that back into your solar proposal, how to bundle it with solar. Because I know a lot of us are obviously out there selling, so we need to figure out how to add this cost into your solar proposal. And the next we're going to do is also talk about selecting the roofing material and the options for that too. So for all of us that are here selling in California, Texas, Florida, Colorado, Nevada, a lot of these major markets that we have out here, we can always request those directly from our solar proposal. So if you go into your solar proposal, you're going to go into your right side on the inbox. Let me actually put that up here. Let me see. So you're going to click on the hamburger sign in your solar proposal. It's on the top right corner. And you're going to scroll down to where it says request roofing proposal. And actually, let me start this here. So on the right side, you'll see a button that says request roofing proposal inside your solar proposal. You'll click on that, and you should see a box pop up, and it says notes. So if you guys happen to have any notes on your on this specific roof, if it's a clay tile roof, it's a concrete tile roof, comp shingle, if there's any existing conditions such as like 2 layers, 3 layers, if there's a roof leak, if there's some kind of damage on that roof, anything you want to share with us, this is the perfect box right here to put those details in. And it's in the notes section here. So we will see this right away on our end. And once we get that back, we're going to be able to account for those exact changes there. Okay, the next thing that we're going to see is once you'll see an email coming back to you guys. And this is where we've seen a lot of confusion from the field, a lot of questions like, hey guys, I sold this for this amount, but it's a higher amount now. So we want to disregard that auto reply email from Solo. We can't turn it off, unfortunately. If we turn it off, it's going to turn off your auto emails you get from your solar proposal. So you'll see an email from Solo saying, hey, your roofing proposal is here, it's ready. But as you can see, it says no reply. And it'll say like, hey, Lily, for example, your proposal's here. This is a raw link. It hasn't been QC'd. It hasn't been priced out. It doesn't have the right scope or waste percentage factored in. It's completely just a raw link. So we want to make sure we disregard this email and wait for us to send you an actual link directly from our inbox. And typically, once we get these back, it should take 24 to 48 hours to get these back to you guys, depending on the scope of work. If it's pretty complex, it could take maybe a little longer. We have to send it out for a custom bid. If it's like a decorative top roof or there's something wrong with the roof, anything that's outside of the norm, we have to send somebody out there, boots on the ground. It might take a little longer, but typically, if it's a standard comp shingle re-roof, we should get these back pretty quick. I mean, same day or next day. So I'm actually going to show you a video too on how to request that. Hello everyone, Erwin Delabra here with the Powur Roofing Department as a roofing specialist. And today I'm going to show you how to RFQ or request a roofing proposal directly from your solar proposal. So the first thing we're going to do is—
Can we get a big screen?
Proposal. And if there's any notes that we have,
There is no sound.
and we're going to type in any notes that we have or that we know from or regarding this roof. So this roof is 15 years old. Homeowners are concerned about the age and condition of the roof. And the roof may need some wood placed. Thank you. And click submit. So any notes that you have regarding this roof, you can always type them in here. You can always come back and always submit other notes as well if you missed it. Also, they would like to know if they can move a roof back. Submit. Once you see the button or the notification that roofing proposal request has been requested, that means that everything went correctly. If you do have an error or it takes you to a login page, my best suggestion is try to change browsers or clear your cache and cookies. If the issue persists, do try to request that manually using the Google questionnaire or Google form that's found in our knowledge base under roofing. In order to get your RFQ over, the last option would be to email us, but the best option would be to fill out that Google form that we do check throughout the day. Please note that when you do get a roof proposal back, you initially get a roof measure link from Solo. It looks something like this. But please note that this proposal or this link is actually just a roof measure. It has not been QC'd. Want the main house and not the patio or not the detached garage. So when you do receive this, please note that it is just an automated message from Solo letting you know the roof measure is in. But you should receive a scrub or a QC version from us, from the roofing department, either by myself or one of our teammates here at Powur Roofing. So please bear with us as we send this back over to you, price that correctly. So once we send it back, you should see a formal email versus automated measure. Thank you. Hello everyone, Erwin Delabra here with it. All right, guys, and I'm going to show you where to find that roofing questionnaire. So oftentimes, some of the field have advised that they can't request a RFQ from the Solo proposal. I think JC, you've had that issue. I've had a couple of more sellers as well reach out because they can't submit it for some reason. Maybe it's browser related, maybe it's cache and cookies. We're not sure. We have a lot of sellers that are able to request it with no issues, but there are some sellers that do have that issue. So we do have another option for you guys. It's called a roofing questionnaire. It's non-solos for custom quotes as well. So if you have something very specific you need to request and you can't really fill it in that note box, then maybe the best route is to go through the that second phase. So let me show you guys how to do that. I'm gonna play a quick video here for you guys. Hello everyone, Erwin Delabra here with the Powur Roofing Department as a roofing specialist. And today I'm going to show you how to find the Powur Roofing questionnaire when you're trying to request the RFQ for roofing proposal. For anything that's an outside market, or if you have a custom scope like a metal roof, decorative tile roof, specialty shingle, anything that's out of the norm, or special requests, you can always find that and manually request that using this form. So once again, you're going to go to Powur Knowledge Base, log in, and in the search bar, we're going to type in roofing. A few options pop up. You're going to click on Powur Roofing Program. So we're going to click on non-solo proposal markets. Just to show you a quick breakdown of our process, roof margin notes, and the actual re-roof request form link is here. So we'll click on that. You'll see a page pop up. It says Power Viewer Questionnaire. You click on Next. You'll type in your information, email, phone number. Powur.com. And this is where you'll fill out your homeowner's information. Proposal link, full URL. And this should take you to the second page where you can put in any notes specifically for this project. If it has 2 layers, 3 layers of shingle, if there's something, a roof leak, anything you'd like to share with us, the more information, the better, so that we can properly bid this for you. And this is how you request a Power Viewer Questionnaire RFQ for manual entry. Thank you. All right, guys, so that's how you request a RFQ the manual way. So the first option is going through your solar proposal. That's the very first option. All of you guys should have that automatically in your solar proposals. Just click on that hamburger sign, scroll down. You should see that button that says request roofing proposal, and that box should pop up. Once you click on that, once again, it'll show you a quick notification at the top. It'll tell you that it's been submitted correctly. Just make sure you have that. If you don't, then it might not come through to us. So just make sure you have the notification pop up. It's a quick heads up. But if you're having issues there and it's not, if you're not able to submit it, this is the manual way to look for that roofing questionnaire Google form. The Google form is going to send back to us. We'll access it and we'll go down the list of all the ones that have been received so far, and then get that request over to you. So there's 2 methods there. I know emailing us directly might sound like the easiest way, but for us, since we get so many emails, it's best to go these 2 routes first. And if those 2 routes for some reason don't work, then of course email is the third best route. But it's always solo, and then it's the roofing questionnaire Google form, and then the last bit would probably be emailing us for RFQ. So once you actually have a roofing proposal back, and let's say it's $9,000, whatever the cost is. So these are quick screenshots of what you'll see. And as you can see here, the total is $19,210 for this project. This is where you're going to plug into your actual solar proposal under roof work in order to bundle it in with your solar. And obviously you have to be cognizant of your price caps. You can reach out to a mentor for that as far as financing goes. But this is the total price for the roof work that you would roll into your financing with solar. So you could do solar plus roofing at the end. And just to give you a quick visual what that looks like, once again, you're going to click on the icon, which is the hamburger sign. You're going to scroll down to where it says roof work, and you're going to plug in that $19,210. Once again, if it's a comp shingle, you still want to add in your adders. These are the actual mounting adders for solar, so you want to make sure you always have those in and not eat that cost. So mounting adders, this is just a typical asphalt shingle. Mounting adders, $0. When I started, I know I forgot to always put in the mounting adders, but there is a true difference between mounting it on concrete tile versus comp shingle. So we want to make sure we have those mounting adders still selected. Mounting adders is different than roof work. Roof work is the actual roofing, taking the whole scope of work. Mounting is just mounting your solar sign. You're gonna scroll in this is within your solar proposal. Click on the hamburger sign, scroll down, you're gonna find the button that says roof work. And then once again, you're gonna plug in that number that you got from us, $19,210. And then once again, just make sure you have your mounting adders, and that should be it. Now you can go ahead and bundle this in with your solar and present it to the customer. So I'll show you a quick video of how that looks like in real time. Hello everyone, this is Erwin Delabra with the Powur Roofing Department. And today I'm going to show you how to add in your roofing costs into a solar proposal to bundle in with solar. And to get started, you should receive an email from us, the roofing department. Once again, not from Solo, auto-generated emails. We should be sending you a link directly from us. That way you know it's been QC'd and priced out correctly. So to get started, we're going to have our information here on the left, presented by your name. We're going to scroll down. And we notice this roof is all selected except for roof plane number 5. So whenever you see a pink area such as this, that means it has been excluded from the scope. In this sense, we have the full roof selected except for the patio or the balcony. This is 33 squares with a predominant pitch of 23. Since this is a clay tile roof, we're going to make sure that it is selected under clay tile for a comp inlet in order for us to install solar on that roof. If we continue to scroll down, we'll see a quick summary of the scope of work involved with each specific type of roof: comp shingle, concrete tile, clay tile, or other. We're going to scroll down, and this is where we'll see the square count we saw above, 33 squares with the rate of $725 for comp inlet. Total price is $23,925 for this scope of work. So now that we have this pricing here, $22,925, we know that we have about $50 in margin baked in here, which we can remove based on your request. But we're going to assume we are going to keep that margin in place as a buffer for any wood changes or change orders possibly down the road. We're going to get our costs, so we're going to go back to our solar proposal. And here we have our system design. We're going to click on the hamburger sign, click on adders, and then roof work. And here's where we're going to paste in that number, $23,925. Yeah, just to confirm, $23,925, $23,925. You're also going to want to put your mounting adder as well. So we do apply a tile inlay comp out. We are going to be installing on a comp roof, and then we're going to backfill it with the rest of the tiles. So we're going to make sure that it is asphalt comp shingle mounting adders, which is zero cost. And we're going to click update, and this is ready to go. Thanks so much, everyone. Hello. All right, guys, so that's pretty much how you plug that in, once again, into your solar proposal to bundle in with your solar project here when financing it together and presenting it to your customer. The next thing that obviously want to go over is the actual material and options. So a lot of us are going to be dealing with comp shingle re-roofs. They have maybe 1 layer, 2 layers, possibly 3, depending. So we want to select your correct scope of work, whether this is a comp shingle, whether it's a new concrete tile, whether you're looking to refresh that tile and put like a tile reset. So I want to go over a few options here and then kind of clarify what the main for our what the main type of roofs that there are that you're going to face while on the field. Either if you're door knocking or you buy some leads, you know, we have to install solar on the roof, put glass on the roof. So we have to make sure that the roof is in good condition and what type of roof that is. So the 4 standard options that we have are just typical standard asphalt shingle re-roofs. Second option is tile or concrete tile, standard weight. Is a little bit heavier, but they look more sleek. You'll mostly find these in like HOA areas. Certain homes might have these, but once again, it's that concrete tile look. The next option for these ones for concrete tile is a full re-roof. So you can replace all the concrete tiles and put in new tile. There is a little bit of a wait time on these. It could be around maybe 3 to 6 weeks. There is a shortage on actual new concrete tiles in the market from our vendors. So that just to give you a heads up, if your customer wanted a fresh new concrete tile re-roof, it could take a little while. If they just want to be able to put solar on the roof and not really change the tiles to brand new, they just want to extend the life of that concrete tile roof, then they might want to consider the concrete tile reset. So concrete tile reset, they're gonna take off all the tiles and they're gonna put in new paper, basically new underlayment underneath. If there's any kind of wood change or wood rot that's underneath, when they tear that stuff off, they're gonna obviously replace that and let you guys know so we can let the homeowners know. And that could be a change order, or if you decide, you can actually eat that cost from commission. So you have two options. Anytime we take stuff off, if there's any kind of damages on the roof that are more than what we expected on the price, you can either do two things. You can do a change order, have the homeowner absorb those costs, or you can say, hey, you know what? No worries, Mr. Homeowner, I'm gonna take care of those costs for you, and I'll just eat that from my margin, my commission. So you have two options. It depends on what your situation is with this homeowner and what route you want to go with. So these are the two options. Once again, a full replacement new tile would be take off all the existing concrete tile, put in new tile, new paper, new vent, new flashings, all that. Concrete tile resets, once again, is just removing the tiles, removing the existing paper or underlayment that's there, and putting new underlayment, new paper, and then putting in the same concrete tiles. So we're putting in the same exact tiles on this scope for a concrete tile reset. We're just extending the life by putting in new underlayment or new paper underneath. That's kind of like basically weatherproofing it. Now the third option is tile clay. I believe JC, you have one coming up, a clay tile roof. Now clay tile roofs, they might look similar to concrete tile, but they are two different materials. Clay tile roofs are very fragile. If you try to step on some of them directly, you might break them. Pretty much, they're very fragile. They're made out of clay. The best way that I can describe them is if you look at them, they might be thin, they're smooth, and they look like Spanish tile roofs anyways. They're more common in Florida, but I know in California we do have some construction homes or homes existing that have clay tiles. In order for us to put solar on that clay tile, we wouldn't be able to penetrate the clay tile directly like we would with concrete. We'd have to remove those and then do what's called a comp inlay. So we remove the clay tiles from the whole roof plane, like the whole square, not just the section where solar goes, it's the whole square, the whole roof plane. And then basically put in comp shingle underneath. They change everything out. They put new paper, they put comp shingle on top. And then once that happens, the solar company comes out there, they put the actual panels on the roof. And then once that's done and final inspection passed, that's when we come back as the roofing partners come back, and then they backfill it with clay, with the same clay tiles. So there's two different scopes. So they're going to take off, once again, the clay tiles. They're going to remove everything that's underneath. If there's any wood that needs to be replaced, they're going to let you guys know as a change order, or once again, you can either put commission. From there, they're going to install new flashings, new underlayment, all that good stuff, and then put a new layer of comp shingle underneath for the whole ridge to rig, the whole roof plane. And then the solar, once again, the solar company is going to come out, install solar on the array that was based on vinyl design. And then once they pass final inspection, once again, they're going to come, our roofing partners come back out and they do the backfill. So they place the clay tiles back all around that array. And it's kind of like, creates like a picture frame, sunken look. So that's the clay tile comp inlay scope. And then the other roofing type is anything else that's outside of these three. Basically, metal standing seam, whether it's a flat roof, whether it's like a Decra tile roof, lightweight concrete tile, anything that's very custom that you're like, I'm not even sure if this is a clay tile, this is concrete tile, it looks different. You can always send us a picture of it and ask us, or if there's a mentor that you work with that's familiar with roofing, they might be able to help you out as well. Site surveys sometimes catches those as long as we have good pictures. We could probably take a look at those and say, hey, this is a Decra tile roof or metal shingle roof, anything like that. But anything else beyond these three would be basically other roofing types. So once again, once we get that RFQ from you guys, we're going to select that scope of work for you, which is either comp shingle, tile concrete, a full concrete roof, or a reset, or other. And with that said, that's pretty much it for me here. And JC, I'm gonna leave it up for Q&A just to help go over anything that's here, but I'm gonna stop sharing now. But if anybody has any questions, I believe JC, I don't know if you want to open up the floor for Q&A, but that's pretty much it here for the roofing training.
Awesome, brother. Yeah, we'll open it up for Q&A. So feel free to unmute yourself, team. If you guys have any questions for Erwin, feel free to
I have a
unmute.
question.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, Louis?
I have a question. Do you
Yeah.
need asphalt in just repapering the roof? Because in the scope of work, there is mentioned that there's an asphalt in the verbiage, and like each item, my client is just reading each line and just checking to see like selection of asphalt. So my question, the roof needs repapering only? It doesn't need like an asphalt shingle replacement or concrete tile?
Yeah, so for that one, is it a concrete salt roof right now?
Yes, it's a concrete tile that just needs repapering. But however, in the scope of work mentioned in the roofing proposal, it shows like asphalt per your choice. So question is, do we need the asphalt there?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, that would be a tile reset. So when we get that RFQ from you, we'll look at the pictures, and if you're asking just the paper, it should be a tile reset.
So you guys can change the scope of work in the roofing proposal just to show there's no asphalt needed, correct?
Yeah, correct. So sometimes the verbiage might say it wouldn't have any asphalt in it at all. It's just the like just an
Right.
auto response.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what I did with requesting a revision, and yeah.
Yeah, but you're correct, Lily. We wouldn't put any asphalt. It's just literally taking off the tiles, changing the paper underlayment, and then checking to see if there's any wood discrepancies. And if there are, we'll let you know, Lily.
Yeah.
And we could communicate that with the homeowner, because change orders do happen, especially with roofs. I mean, we could take stuff off, and then we might find a bunch of wood that's rotten. You know, we don't know until we tear that stuff off. But we'll let you know, Lily. But pretty much if it's nothing wrong, we'll put in new paper and put in the same tiles back on top of that roof again.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. That's it.
Absolutely.
I got a quick question. I was knocking in a neighborhood and coming up to some of the houses, and they were saying that they've been visited by solar people before and they couldn't do it on their houses. They had like those low pitch, really low pitch roofs with like the almost like a spray foam and rock on top of it. Do you just have to replace the whole roof?
Yeah, pretty much. If it's like a foam roof, there's certain companies that install those. I know for us, it's certain companies like I believe J Electric or Brick Electric might be able to handle that scope, but I know it's more involved. Typically, it might be best to just re-roof that to a different material, maybe like a TPO or torch down to install solar. But as it is right now, most solar companies probably going to shy away from that. They might want to do, what is it, like jeopardize the roof, that foam roof, because it's expensive. So they might just DQ automatically. For us, we can take on that scope. We have Brick Electric, J Electric that might take it on as is. But if for whatever reason they say, hey guys, we don't want to touch this unless they change the material, then we can go out that route and just take that stuff off and then put in a new either TPO or original.
Okay, they were open to a roof replacement. I was just saying, I was like, we could always replace the roof and tie that into the loan.
Yeah, exactly. We could just take off this there and put in a new different material, like get a custom bid for that, and then have one of our partners provide a bid for that.
Erwin, can you show us a sample of the roofing and the solar prices? I mean, the monthly payment, if you have it. Comparison.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have one live with me. I believe from the videos, it was like a training series we did. But typically, we enroll in that roofing cost. It'll show you live numbers right there on your actual monthly payment. And obviously, depending on your price caps, you might have to get a different loan, like play with the numbers a little bit, because sometimes you can't exceed 30% or something like that from the total loan amount. So I don't have a live example right here off that, Arthur, unfortunately, but I know that once you put in that roofing cost, your proposal is going to show the numbers automatically, like the monthly payment, the actual tax credit is going to go up, everything's going to change. You might have to play with the different finance options to see, how to get that homeowner maybe the better route or monthly payment, depending on what they want to look for.
I do have it if you want to see.
Yeah, because the thing is they are worried. Because I have two clients, they want to do the roofing first, they said. So because I'm new here, I don't know yet what's the part of our program. So they're always asking me how much will they pay, for the whole roofing and solar. So that's what they're worried right now is the roofing and the solar together. So I was
Yeah, Arthur, like if you have a proposal right now, I mean, you could probably just, not saying that the number's going to be accurate, but you can probably just put in like, let's say 15 grand, 16 grand into the roof work adder right now, just as an example. And then you can right away see what the numbers are going to be. And you could be upfront with the homeowner and let them know this is just we're just guesstimating a number, but that'll show you how much the monthly payment could be potentially. And this is just for your own knowledge. Unless you want to get a proposal from us, we're happy to provide that to you and then get true cost on that if you'd like. Yeah.
So Erwin, are you a part of our? Are you the roofer company or?
Yeah,
the,
I work in the roofing department here at Powur. I work with Kristen and Fred Walkover. So we're expanding the roofing team. We have a team of 4 of us right now. And then we have a new manager that came on board. So I'm a roofing specialist. My background is in sales and I used to work construction and some ADUs. I sold a lot of roofs back in the days, Owens Corning, Cool Duration Plus roofs. So I'm very knowledgeable in the scope of work. I've actually been on the roofs to do the work myself. So I'm happy to share that knowledge with you guys and just help you close that deal, when that conference is normal and get everything going.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my clients, she wants to get a new roof, but she have a question about she have her home insurance. Every house have house insurance, right? So she says, is it possible, like whatever cost, like if it costs 1,920 for the new roof, then is it possible for us to claim her insurance and whatever have left, put it back to the loan? Is that possible? Or we do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. And so we have a lot of homeowners insurance companies where they have a deductible, right? There's a deductible that they charge the homeowner, like it's 2 grand, 3 grand, whatever the price is. They'll take care of the roof work, but if the homeowner doesn't want to come out of pocket for that deductible, you can roll it into the roof work adder. Just make sure you leave a ticket for your PM and let them know that the amount is for the deductible. And we can actually pay them out a homeowner rebate. So homeowner rebate is we're gonna reimburse the homeowner at the end of the solar install and get them that money back, but it at least lets them, recoup that cost so they don't come out of pocket.
So she have to pay for her own first and do that later.
You're right, correct. What you could probably do, Anna, I don't know how she wants to do this, but if you kind of time it right, maybe taking care of the roof work almost at the end, once you have your solar permits already there, maybe you can do like a change order and add that roofing cost in there and then get that taken care of so that maybe she doesn't have to come out of pocket. She could just wait for that payment from Powur to get reimbursed. So there's many different ways, unless she wants to get it taken care of right now ASAP. It's leaking, then of course, just pay the deductible and we're gonna reimburse her. But it's depending on her situation. If she just wants to get it done, but it's not in a rush, maybe you can time it that way. But from us, we can absolutely reimburse her for that. Just that if she takes care of it now, she'll have to, come out of pocket and then we can reimburse her.
And for another house, like they says they want to get a solar, but on the back, they have a extension on it with like they a little building on the back, and then the own owner never have a permit. So if we do that, like re-roof and everything, so that building, that one doesn't have permit before. This says you have to take them out, tear it out. So the owner want to know, like, if they get a new re-roof on that, can we make a new plan, what a cat pen, whatever, so they can get a permit on that side too? Is that possible?
Yeah, for that, you probably need like a GC, like a general contractor to get plans like that. So you also need like structural engineering as well. So we wouldn't be able to handle that scope. We're just strictly just doing the re-roof. For more of that, that's more hands-on. Like I said, you might want to talk to a GC, but we wouldn't be able to roll that cost in, unfortunately. It would be
So they have to do their own finish first.
right. So
We
yeah,
don't do that.
correct. Yeah, wouldn't be able to roll that cost into the loan. That's going to be, I mean, who knows, like plans themselves could run 4 or 5 grand at the cheapest. And then you have to also get a GC to handle that scope, and he might request structural engineering. So we don't really know how that what's existing there, who built it, how they built it. So it might be more cost. We wouldn't be able to basically bundle that into your solar loans. It would just be the roofing portion only.
So
Unfortunately.
so if we have regular roof, standard shingle one, and then they want to change to metal or a different type.
Mhm.
So we do that too, right?
Yeah, of course. Like we can go from comp shingle to maybe like a lightweight metal standing seam, something like that, or maybe even like a what is it, like an upgraded shingle option, but you wouldn't be able to go from comp to concrete, like straight, like just like to go from comp shingle to concrete tile standard weight, it'd be too much weight on the roof, like concrete tiles. So the actual, we need to ask the city to see if this is something we can install on that roof, first and foremost, just based on the weight of the concrete tiles. If you wanted to go with maybe like a lightweight concrete tile or clay tile, we can do that. But once again, that'll be 2 scopes. You'd have to do a comp inlay and then put solar on that. So it might be too expensive. The best option, Anna, is if they wanted something a little nicer, is maybe go with a better shingle. So maybe not standard, maybe a cool roof system upgraded, or maybe specialty like presidential shingles. So there's more levels, like there's 3 levels of shingles, and each one of them comes with different warranties, and they do look nicer for sure as you go up. It's a little more expensive.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Erwin, is
Yeah.
it a raise hand or just jump in?
No, you could just pretty much jump in. I'm just going over.
So real quick, in California, or in LA, you need cool roof. So do you guys automatically use Owens or GAF cool roof products?
Yeah, that's a
in a
good
roof quote?
That's a good point, Duan. We actually are in talks right now. I think I had a poll with all the top mentors in California. So a lot of Title 24 compliance in the state of California requires basically for any new construction homes to have a cool roof system. There's a whole rating. So for us here, just planning ahead, right? We are switching over to upgraded shingles. Right now we have it at standard, but if I've talked to Kristen and I've talked to other members higher up to get that changed. It hasn't happened yet, but we do offer that service there, Duan. So
what's the difference in a price? I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't just offer cool roof, but what's the difference in a quote?
The main difference in price is like $45 per square. It's not that much. It's maybe like $1,200, $1,300 more for an upgraded cool roof system. And as you know, so just for everybody's knowledge here, standard comp shingles are like the very base options. They have limited warranty. They're not a cool roof system. They're not Title 24 compliant, but it is a cheaper option to bundle in with solar. Now here in California, we have Title 24 compliance, which most likely will require a cool roof system. It's an upgraded option. It's a little more expensive, $45 more per square, but it is an overall better system for your home. It's more energy efficient, Title 24 compliant, a full cool roof system on the roof. And it does, some of them even come with like extended warranty, like limited lifetime, 50-year warranties on those roofs.
Yeah,
So,
so that's my question. Do our installers have the certification for that? So we can just offer that straight up?
yeah, they do. Three of the top major ones that we have here in California, for everybody's notes, is Troy Roofing, Rainy Day Roofing, Final Touch Construction, One Stop. All these guys are either own the vendor relationships that are preferred vendors for either Owens Corning, GAF, or Certainty.
So if
they
I request it, I have to ask for that. I have to ask for cool roof. I have to ask for 50-year warranty GF or Owens on every quote.
Yeah, pretty much, because right now as it is, we have it to Chris and Sora higher up to change that. And I sent an email, it was very robust. It hasn't been approved yet, but they're in talks to get that approved. So once that's approved, every roofing proposal you guys will see in California is going to show that automatically. So for
I mean,
right
it's
now,
like $3 a month on a 25-year loan. So seems
yeah,
like a smart thing to just standardize, but okay, so just ask for it, basically, bottom line, and note, and $25 is going to cover the top of the line 50-year warranty.
yeah, exactly. So a lot of our partners offer that, and they just offer automatically that the extended warranty. It's not an extra charge. They
How
just
many years warranty again? Sorry.
Yeah, so the Owens Corning like cool roof systems are limited lifetime, so about 50-year warranty on the actual materials. So which is a lot better than standard shingles.
If you
So
pay for it, it's included, but
right.
that's, you don't want to just tell people. In other words, a lot of roofers won't bother, which is really stupid, because it's maybe like a whole roof for the roofer's cost is maybe a few $100 difference to offer that to like a roofer directly to a customer. So it's kind of dumb not to offer them 50 years instead of 30, but they just
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of these roofers that we have, I've asked them before too, and they just include that automatically, just right off the bat, so there wasn't any extra cost. So for right now, if you do want to have an upgraded shingle roof option, especially here in California, just to give a better option for your homeowners when you're doing a re-roof for comp shingle, I would just put a little note, hey, please provide updated shingles, and we can price that out for you as a line item and get that out to you guys as we make that change. So it's not live yet. It might be live, I'd say, in about 2 weeks, just for some personal knowledge here. But as it is right now, it's just by default standard, which I'll try to change that as well. But it could take about 2 weeks.
I might have missed this, but in the beginning, forgive me, but I had 3 Zooms at the same time. Is there a when you get the proposal back, you can request it. I guess somebody mentioned you can do that right away when you request the original proposal when it comes back. But once you request a roof proposal, does this pop up in the same place like there's an additional proposal there? Or how does that cycle into Solo or into the Power Portal?
Yeah, so like once you request a roofing proposal from us, you'll see that come back. First thing that you'll notice is you'll see an email from Solo saying, hey, roof measure's ready, but it's an automated email. I wouldn't click on that link because it's not, it's just a raw link. So you want to wait for us to send you the actual link from the roofing inbox. It'll have a whole verbiage. Here's your link, here's your margin, all that good stuff. And then let's say, do you want that we missed your scope of work, you can always reply back to that email and say, hey guys, can you remove the margin? Can you remove this scope? Can you move this roof plane? Or can you upgrade to
But forgive me, just the sound quality isn't the best. You're saying it comes in an email, or it shows up inside the Power Portal where you see your projects and you click on a customer name and you see your proposals on that tab? Does it show up in there somewhere or just in an email?
Yeah, it's gonna show up in an email directly from us to you directly.
Okay.
It's not gonna show up in your Power Portal. Unfortunately, there's no way to bridge that gap yet, so they're not adding it in there. So we have to
Okay.
send it manually to you, email by email, request by request. And
And
to
the
your
interactive part of it is in that email, there's a link that you can then go ahead and make changes, modify things, whatever, request changes.
Right, exactly. So once you get it back, if you have any changes, if you want to remove the margin, or if it's standard cup shingle and you put in a note that you want it upgraded, for some reason, if we missed that, you can always reply back to that email that we sent you and say, hey guys, can you change this over to upgraded shingles? Had it requested, it could happen. So just make sure you reply back and let us know what you want.
Can we do gutters and fascia board?
Yeah, we do gutters and fascia boards, replacements as well, soffit boards. Those are all custom bitted options. So depending on linear feet around the house, we have to get it priced out. Typically, a roofer will send us back a price for that. We just have to send it manually as a bid.
Gutter shields, leaf, there's leaf gutter shields.
Yeah, I believe they could probably add that additional cost. Gutters, downspouts, fascia boards, soffits.
Can we say have a customer who wants to just use their own roofer? They're gonna pay cash, but they want me to build the cost in anyway. Can I upload their roofing cost into the assets file and then just add the roofing cost and just we'll cut them a check to reimburse them for what they paid their roofer?
Yeah, exactly. You could do that
I
too.
could build into the loan as a cost and Power's not gonna care.
Yeah, as long as we have that the roofing bid. So the roofing bid has to be like in PDF format.
Okay, nice and clean, just upload it into the assets. And then how would I sort of communicate, hey, this isn't, I'm not asking Power to do the roof. So if I could put notes, obviously, hey, their own roofer's gonna do it. They'd like to coordinate so they do the roof as close as possible to the solar install, etc. I just put a bunch of notes in there on the project management, the handoff notes and all that.
Yeah, pretty much. And then once it gets a contract review, it'll get flagged anyways. So then they'll say, hey guys, is this roof bid approved? And most likely, if it's an outside roofer, it'll be homeowner rebate. We just have to look at that bid, make sure that it's not a napkin thing, so just write it out.
Yeah.
It has to be a legitimate bid. We look at the scope of work and then we approve it. Once it's approved, it's basically once everything gets funded. I'm actually going to attach something here. I don't think I can see it, but it's a homeowner rebate process. So in order to get your homeowner paid out, you do have to attach 3 assets into your asset section in Power, which is completion photos, a copy of your invoice from the roofer, signed invoice, and then a certificate of completion. So those 3 options are what we need in order for us to pay out your homeowner.
Certificate of completion from the homeowner, between the homeowner and the roofer.
Correct. We actually have one here under a Power letterhead, and the actual copy of the paid invoice is just like the invoice showing what the homeowner
So we
paid.
could just use our own, we could supply it if the roofer doesn't have something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. As long as
Okay.
it's signed, at least countersigned by the homeowner or something like that. That's all we would need. And then just some
Okay.
completion photos to verify the actual work was completed versus stated. And that's pretty much it in order for accounts to be able to pay that out to the homeowner.
Okay, and just a separate issue here, for whatever reason, they didn't qualify for enough for the solar. I've been told that like Mosaic, for example, might approve a second loan, or somehow there's a process that they could apply for roof financing if the roofer doesn't offer it. We have anything to cover that kind of situation?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't run across that issue myself. Typically, whenever maybe if the amount doesn't, they can add the total amount onto the solar proposal. Typically, the homeowner would just pay that out of pocket in cash right to the roofer. I'm not sure about the Mosaic one. That's a good question. I'm sure somebody in here could probably chime in on that. But as far as I know, most of these roofing options, if you can't roll the whole thing open, typically the homeowner just pays them out of pocket cash or credit card, etc. Or they'll just invoice them directly.
Any other stuff our roofers do, like insulation or attic fans, or any, like spinners or solar tubes or any of that other stuff? Do they do any of those other add-ons?
Yeah, they do the vent relocations, hangings vent, low profile vents. They also do insulation too. So if you have insulation that you want to add in there, as long as it's not standalone, so they wouldn't be able to just do these things standalone. But if you have a whole roofing project, it's a re-roof, you want to throw in insulation, you want to throw in gutters, downspouts, maybe change some vents and low profile or hanging vents.
Ducting. Yeah, move ducting or whatever, redo ducting or reseal ducting.
Yeah, so mostly things like that, like as long as we have like a scope of work, like a re-roof, then we could probably roll those in there. But if it's just standalone options, they probably wouldn't take on the scopes. They'll
No,
probably
no, just while they're roofing, like if they're doing a complete tear off of like a, shake on skip sheathing and they're just gonna go with plywood shingles and while they're open, they'll just go ahead and do insulation, throw in an attic fan or whatever. They can do all that as part of this, as long as those are all available from our roofers.
yeah, exactly.
So just roll it into the cost.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just
Okay.
make it to one total cost. Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. And then we had a question. I'm just going through the actual messages here on the comments. So Barry had a good question. As far as like the comp inlay, we do install comp shingles underneath on that roof. So it's not a 50-year roof, unfortunately. It's just a standard roof. And the reason why maybe it's probably not a cool roof system is that it's probably not necessary because you're going to put the same clay tiles underneath. So it's pretty much weather protecting the roof from exposing it to the elements. But they just install that just to keep the cost down for the scope of work. But that's a good question for sure. So
Oh, that was another one on the clay tile. So how do we quote that if we have to do a comp fill on a clay tile? What's it based on?
yeah, so you just have to let us know that it's a clay tile roof pave comp inlay on the solar mounting planes only, because we're only going to be doing the full bridge to rake. It's just not full roof plane.
So
And
plan out the array and then say, request a roof quote and say, okay, here's the array that I think we're gonna have. But what are you guys basing it on? Just so I know, like, for example, say the design team comes out, I mean, the site eval comes out and then, the design comes back and it's a different configuration than I could get from Solo. Is it based on the number of panels? Is it based on the square feet of the array? Is it based on the, from the apex to the edge, under the array? What are you basing the quote on?
yeah, that's a good question. So one is basically the whole. So let's say you have a. like
So you got a rectangle,
Sure.
array, you got the
Yeah.
top of the roof to the bottom. Are you recomping everything underneath and then backfilling everything up to the edges?
Yep.
And you're quoting me based on that how many big squares that is, that covers that particular array? Is that a safe way to do it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much exactly what we do. So it's based on where you're planning to put that array. Even if you're putting 3 panels, it has to be the whole roof plane, the whole
The whole roof plane or just from the apex to the bottom
it's
and the
the
width
whole,
of so you go all the way.
yeah, the whole roof plane, yeah.
So if you have an A-frame house, just simple A-frame like a schoolhouse, and you got one side is a rectangle, you're just gonna do the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the whole roof plane. In order for them to properly warranty it and for it to be watertight, they've advised, and it's pretty much on the MSA. It has to be the whole ridge to rake roof plane. Even if you're putting in a small system right there, it's the whole scope.
So is it the same price as a roof then? It's the same cost as a new comp roof?
Similar, yeah. I mean, at that point, might as well just switch to comp shingle. But obviously, some homeowners are like, no,
Exactly,
my
yeah.
clay tiles, and it's
I love my clay tiles. They've been so valuable to me.
exactly.
All right.
So yeah, but it's the whole ridge, ridge to rake the whole roof plane. And I had that question too when I came on board, because I thought it was just that section where you put.
Some places just do the section.
Yeah.
Some companies just do, they go a certain distance beyond the edges of the array up to the vertex of the roof and down to the eaves. I mean, but, I just wanted to know that.
Yeah.
So really, it's like a recomp. I mean, bottom line.
Basically, if you see some pictures that we have, and I can share with you guys too. I can't really attach them here, but
Plus additional labor to put back the tiles, right?
yeah, exactly. So it's 2 scopes in one. You're comping out the whole thing, and then you're backfilling it with all the tiles around it. That's why sometimes I advise, it's better to just put all the panels on that side, especially if they're gonna handle the whole roof plane. Might as well just maximize that, and you get your money's worth for sure. Versus
How strict are we on that with cement tiles? How strict are we about the need to do that? Like, say for example, say they're not 9-pound tiles and they're like lightweight, but they're like they're 8 pound. I mean, in other words, do we have like a strict rule where someone's going to go out and lift up a tile and weigh it and say, sorry, we can't do this without a recomp? Or
Yeah,
do we
like,
have some?
so typically for like lightweight tiles, they're pretty firm on that too. Like lightweight tiles, it has to be standard weight concrete tiles. If it's lightweight tiles, they're gonna come back to us and we'd like it a surprise. Hey guys, we have to do a comp inlay scope for this roof, and we have to revisit that and do a change order. We reconnect or re-engage the homeowner, let them know it's different price. So from the get-go, if we know it's a lightweight tile, if we know it's like a clay tile, decorative tile, lightweight metal, etc. It's better to just know off the bat it's probably going to be a comp inlay. That's already like company standard here in Powur. If it's a standard weight concrete tile, you can just install directly on that. It's just if you want to extend the life, you could do the tile reset. Change that paper, put fresh paper, and then put those same tiles back on. That's probably the cheapest option. This is a whole new, concrete tile re-roof. But yes, we do the two scopes here. And Barry, your question is that's certain they would just build in a path in addition to the place where the solar would go rather than the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, different companies might have done different scopes. Some of the roofers that we have worked with Sunrun too, like the roofers. And some of them, they might just comp out just a small section where solar's going. And typically for us, they didn't want to do that route. They didn't want to have any roof leaks. They wanted to make sure it's properly warranted, so they're going to do the whole scope versus the rig. And every roofing partner has pretty much agreed that they don't want to take on just that scope, that small little section. They want to make sure that it's properly warranted, and it's going to last at least 10 years, 10, 20 years. So they don't just handle that small scope, it's the whole ridge to rig.
So we have warranty on the person have roof and solar. For the roof is 10 years and 30 years for the solar, right?
So the roof itself, the workmanship is 10 years, but the actual material on the roofs could be 20, 30 years, depending on which one you get, like which material. Like that, I think Juan was saying you could do limited lifetime warranty, 50-year upgraded shingle roof. But most of these are going to be around 20, 30 years standard shingles. The 10 years is only just the workmanship, like the actual workmanship on it.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And then I'm going to the comments here to see if you guys have any other questions that I might have missed. Thank you for sharing the info.
Hey, Erwin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, how you doing?
Very
Driving,
good.
that's what I'm at. Hey, my name is Kevin and I'm from Miami, Florida. I just want to say thank you for your training, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm kind of new to this requesting roof proposal.
Yeah.
I've been running into some people that they want to do solar and roof. So I wanted to know is I saw the training that you're saying the fastest way to get a roof proposal is going to be through going to obviously through the solar request proposal and going to add roof. That's the fastest way, or the Google Docs?
Yeah, the fastest way is going to be solar. Like if you go to your solar proposal, you click on the hamburger sign, because that's going to go directly into our queue, like that we see every day. And then if for some reason, Kevin, you try to submit it in good faith and it doesn't work, like you get an error, then the Google questionnaire is probably the second best form, because we also look at that form secondary. But yeah, that's probably the best two options right there, because I know emailing seems like the fastest route, but typically for us, there's so many emails going back and forth in that inbox, and we've actually been having issues with that inbox where we might, unfortunately, we might skip over your email, not because we ignored it, we just not it might be in second page, third page in the inbox. Yeah.
Right. I was checking the Google Docs, and I know there's like a couple questions. Like I'm not a roofer. Like I don't like I'm still learning this vocabulary business thing. So it asks a certain question about layers, stuff like that. Like, is there more training or something that I could get that? Because I know there's people that they said that they will get roof proposal just through emails, like they'll give you the homeowner address, the project ID, and you guys will just figure it out and just give me back the proposal. Is that how it works?
Yeah, pretty much. And if you don't really know like how many layers on the roof, like if you
Right,
you really don't know because you haven't seen the house in person to verify that,
right,
then you could just say, you know what, I'm not sure. It could be 1 or 2 layers. That's totally fine. It doesn't have to be accurate because we'll look at
okay,
the photos as well and either go to Google Street View or maybe
okay,
if there's any kind of site survey photos that we can reference, we can
okay,
take a look at those as well and then just kind of verify. And if let's say if it's 1 layer, 2 layers, it
right,
might be fine. It might not be a big cost difference. But
right,
yeah, if you don't really know too much on the layers, don't really worry
right.
too much.
You
Just share as much as you know about the roof.
you
Do you have
guys
a,
you guys will contact the homeowner if anything, if, to ask questions about the roof.
We wouldn't really contact them per se. We're not really homeowner facing or customer facing, but typically for our partners, when they actually accept the job, they'll
Okay,
call them and then they'll schedule the installation. They'll reach out to them to pick out the color of the shingles and
oh, okay,
schedule the install too.
okay,
So they're going to be the ones to reach out. And once they actually come out on site, if they discover anything that maybe underneath, like the tear off, once they take everything off,
right,
and let's say they had a roof leak existing and some of the wood is pretty bad, the decking,
right.
then they're going to let you know, Kevin, hey, Kevin, by the way, this is going to be through
This
your
popped up.
PM.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 layers, or I'm sorry, 3 sheets of plywood that need to be replaced. It's going to be $300,
right.
100.
And to edit that order.
Yeah, exactly. You can either do a
Okay,
changeover, have your homeowner absorb it, or you can absorb it yourself on commission. It's up to you. It's 2 options.
okay. No, for
did you,
sure.
would
Okay,
you say it
thank
is
you.
per, like, is there a standard adder additional cost if there is a second layer or a third layer?
Yeah, so typically for any comp shingle re-roofs, it's just assuming you only have 1 layer of comp shingle on the roof. If you have a second layer, third layer, 4 layers of comp shingle, every layer is additional cost. I think it's like $30 or something like that.
$30 a big square?
Correct, yeah. So $30 or $25-$30 per square additional. And I can actually confirm that here. Let me check.
And is it like per layer or is that just sort of like an overall because you need another dumpster maybe or something?
No, it'd be per layer. So they charge per layer. For every extra layer they do charge. Let's see. Try to see. We have we checked for roofing. So I can give you the price right now. So we have an MSA sheet, so they do charge for every extra layer. So one of our main partners in California, Troy Roofing, they do charge about $50 per extra layer removal. So if there's 3 layers, that's $150 extra per square. Just so you
Okay.
get the heads up.
And 150 extra per square removal?
Yeah, so if it's only 1 layer extra, so it's 2 layers, that'd be $50 per square. If there's 3 layers, that's $100 per square. If there's 4 layers, like it's
Oh, 3 layers, $100 per square. Okay.
yeah, 150 extra, correct, under $100.
So are we saying that, hi, by the way, thank you for this. So are we saying that we can go to adders and just check off re-roof and that will get to you guys quicker than the Google Docs? Did I understand that correctly?
So you're talking about the RFQ?
If I needed to request a re-roof proposal.
Yeah, so the quickest way is going to be the first option where you go through your solar proposal and with the hamburger sign, and if you scroll down, there should be a button that says request roofing proposal.
Request, okay. I don't think I've ever seen that, but I'll definitely take a look for that. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So that's going to be the fastest way. And like I said, if you have any issues with that, I know some sellers have pushed that button and for some reason it just doesn't go through. I'm not sure why. We've talked to support, we've talked to Solo. They can't really figure out why. Could be browser related, cache and cookies maybe, but at any rate, that's going to be the fastest way. And if you don't, or if not able to have that done or you can't push it through, then the second best option is the Google questionnaire form.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there also a standard adder for redoing the whole deck, the whole plywood deck?
Yeah, they do have a pricing per CDX plywood. So there's two. There's OSB and CDX. It's $100 per sheet. So depending on how many sheets, it's typically 3 sheets per square. So if
So
you
it's
need-
4x8s, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if
Okay,
you
so
need-
roughly would you say $300 a square?
Correct. Yeah, about $300 per square, per roofing square of CDX plywood. So depending on how many squares your roof is, we pretty much just would add that line item in there. Now I'm not sure if it does need the whole entire new decking, unless the whole entire roof has like what's that shiplap, the skip sheathing. Then at that point you would need to do that, or if it's a wood shake roof. If it's wood shake, for sure you need plywood for the whole house. So yeah, it just depends. So if you guys know right off the bat that the house has this type of decking underneath, then we can account for that right off the bat and get a price for you guys as a line item.
Cool.
And let's see. So in all, I'm just going through the questions here. So I think I answered this one from Marissa. So to be clear, or Carrie, so to be clear, a lightweight clay tile roof what would I do? So lightweight or clay tiles, same thing. So that would be a comp inlay, scope of work, comp shingle underneath, and then we put the solar array and then backfill it with the clay tiles. Picture frame look. And can you please upload your slides or additional video? Yeah, actually, that's a good question, Lily. So this training series should be available. I think even this week. You guys should have access to this week in Knowledge Base. And to Kevin's point, there's going to be a training like a robust with all these videos that you guys saw inside Knowledge Base. So it's a complete roofing training for you guys. I go through it. Some other partner goes through it as well, and it's going to be, you guys are going to be able to have access to these videos right there. Let me see if I maybe missed this question, but I think I got all the questions. Did you guys have any other questions? I gotta hop off in like 5 minutes, but I'm happy to answer any of the questions you guys have.
Yeah, Aaron, I got a question.
Yeah.
I have a energy efficient product. It's like a cork painting that goes on top of the roof or on the house, and it keeps the house from going above 80 degrees. Can that be added into the loan for the homeowner?
Yeah, if it's like is it a whole like re-roof scope of work that you're having done?
It's just a cork paint that you just spray on top of the roof, and it keeps the house cool and it keeps it warm in the winter.
Gotcha.
Installation, and it's fireproof and waterproof. So can we add that to the loan for the homeowner and put it in like as a package deal for the solar?
Gotcha. I don't think our roofers offer that, unfortunately. Not from what I've seen. They don't have any adder or pricing for that. I'm sure like some roofers do, but for us, some of these roofers that we have, they don't offer that service, so we wouldn't be able to roll it in. But one thing you could do, Carlos, if you have a customer that wants to do that and they just want to get reimbursed, you could probably get that done out of pocket from the homeowner, and then we can reimburse them for it.
Okay.
Just making sure that we have that bid, that pricing, scope of work, and then once it comes through contract review, either myself or Kristen will take a look at that, and then we'll say, okay, this is an approved adder.
Okay.
And then we'll reimburse them at the end of solar install. So,
okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to ask. Can that be reimbursed or can it be added into the loan?
Yeah, absolutely. You could add it into the solar loan. We wouldn't be able to pay that roofer directly, unfortunately, for that scope of work, since we don't even offer that service ourselves. But if you add it in there towards the end, just making sure. Let me see if I can attach this, but there should be like a section in Knowledge Base that says someone a rebate process, and they'll give you the whole scope of what you need to get your homeowner reimbursed. It's a copy of the paid invoice, some completion photos for reference, and then it's called the Home Upgrade Certificate of Completion. And those are the 3 assets. Once you have those, you just put them into your asset section, just let your PM know, and that's going to it's going to expedite any payments towards your homeowner for reimbursement instead of having any delays and asking, hey, Carlos, we need completion photos. Hey, we need certificate of completion, the invoice. So just thinking ahead of things you'll need to get it paid out.
So it's gonna go straight to the homeowner, not to the actual company.
Right, correct. So it'll reimburse your homeowner, correct?
Because it's not I think it's gonna be a painting company, not a roofing company that actually does it.
Yeah. Do you happen to know what the material is called itself?
Yeah, it's called Sober. It's called Calmer Sober. It's from Europe.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that for sure. I know there was like a coat that they used to put on where it extends a life. I can't remember the name, but it wasn't an approved adder from our partners. And if a homeowner wanted to take care of that, it was out of pocket, and then we could potentially reimburse them. But yeah, that's an interesting one for sure.
Talking about the spray on stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a paint that it's a special paint that goes on anything actually. It can go on the house or the roof, and it keeps the house cool. So the temperature won't go above 80 degrees.
I mean, it's not gonna count as a titled, I mean, it won't count as a cool roof, but is it just some sort of benefit they're looking for?
It's like an energy efficient product.
I think it's referring to Roof Max, right? Is it Roof Max? I think Reggie put that in there too.
I think it's an insulation product.
Right. And I believe on our end, just to give you a heads up, Carlos, like for us, as long as the roof itself is already in solid condition, I mean, that's just another adder. But if the roof itself is in pretty bad shape, if it's 3 layers, we wouldn't be able to install solar on that. If it's in pretty bad shape and it requires a re-roof, then maybe that coat might not be suffice, basically.
Yeah, it won't go onto a roof that needs to be re-roofed. It has to be a roof that's a quality roof.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be an issue for us. I mean, I don't think it'll really affect it. It's just a paint that's going on, like a coat.
How much does it cost?
Yeah.
You gotta buy the paint by gallon, and then
I think this is my friend
painter.
selling that.
Huh?
I think that's my friend that sells that. Sounds like.
Well,
But what is it like? What is the cost to the homeowner to get the whole thing done?
what I'm doing, I'm adding into the solar system, so I will pay for it for the homeowner.
But like how much, I guess is what I'm saying. How much?
I'm still figuring that out because I'm adding it to my portfolio.
But yeah, to your question, Carlos, I mean, I'm sure we can roll that in. I don't think it would be standalone. Like we wouldn't even offer it ourselves.
Right.
But the roof is good, and it doesn't jeopardize our ability to put glass on the roof. It's just a coat that they want to handle.
You might want to keep in mind that that now you're getting into like the roof that you're touching that wasn't your responsibility. And then also if you're putting up solar, then it really doesn't need to quote unquote keep the house cooler necessarily. Because the whole point is they can just turn on their air now, but just something to think about, because those kind of companies, who knows what it is and what
It's
you're
been
doing to
around
their
for a
roof.
long time. So it is, and it's from Spain. So it's been around for a long time.
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, because I would probably just err on the side of caution as well, like because you also were looking at the best interest for homeowners, so maybe just us pivoting in if they're concerned about the roof and being cooler, maybe like just to Dwayne's point, Dwan, or am I saying it right, Dwan or Dwayne?
Dwayne, yeah.
Dwayne, there you go, sorry about that, Dwayne. But yeah, so to Dwayne's point, I mean, honestly, like Carlos, just from our perspective, like in the field, a cool roof system would be like the ideal route.
Okay.
A full cool roof system that is compliant, and if they're already concerned about it being not as efficient, maybe it's the insulation, it could be something else, maybe vents, they need a vent. So yeah, I'll probably look into those other options. I know like a painting system that it might be promising, but what if it doesn't really help them out? They just pay for something that didn't really help them too much. But a cool roof system, maybe changing the insulation that they have in there, maybe adding an event, or other events. Maybe that could be the case too. You could
Okay.
help out even.
Mostly you're messing with the roof. That's the biggest thing. Just remember,
Yeah.
like, you know, with roofs, the rule is kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And then also, the solar panels are covering a substantial portion of the roof where the sun is anyway. So if you think about
Right.
that for a second, there's shade underneath your solar panels and there's an air flow underneath. So look, I mean, I've been in this game for 20 years with the energy efficient. It's there's a lot of claims out there, but you know, there's very little you can do to your roof that's gonna cool your house down, especially if it's a 2-story house. But solar power just powers your air conditioner. So, you know, get a better air conditioner, right?
Right.
that balances your cooling, and then you've solved both problems. You know?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, Carlos, no problem. But I'm gonna, I don't know if JC's still on, but I gotta hop off on a hard stop. But thank you all for allowing me to come on board today, and I'm happy to have answer any questions you guys have. There we go. I think somebody's cutting their grass. But yeah, I'm happy to share any feedback, and like I said, the training material that's it's going to be available to you guys possibly this week. It's a full roofing training on knowledge base, and all the videos that you just saw today, they should be in knowledge base. I'll check back for sure and confirm. So, but it should be available this week. I know it was just launched; it had to get approved for marketing. But the actual roofing training, it's a whole robust training from start to finish, and it'll go over everything, and all the videos you guys just saw, they'll all be there as well. And if you guys have any questions, anything like that, anything comes up, always feel free to email us. I know sometimes it's hard to get a hold of us. It's a small team, but we're happy to help and give you guys value and just answer any questions you guys have.
All right. Thank
Hey,
you.
Erwin, one thing you might want to put in there is the price, the adders, the things we talked about, how much extra for roof deck, how much extra for second, third layer of comp, how much extra for cool roof top warranty brand. If that's in the knowledge base, it'd be a really smart place to put it.
Yeah, for sure, Dwayne. Like we have Lauren Donaldson who just came on board to our team. She's revamping the whole pricing thing, and it's going to be like a spotlight thing with different adders, scope of work for different regions. California, Title 24, Florida, what scopes are available, which ones aren't. So all that stuff's coming. It's not there yet, but she's working on it right now live with the whole pricing thing, the revamp. So it's going to get better, and you're going to have more transparency on that. With as long as what are acceptable adders, what aren't acceptable adders, and as you can see here, that painting coat wasn't one that was an acceptable adder for us. But obviously, if someone wants to take care of it out of pocket, it's different. But all that's coming in the next, at least in the next few weeks for sure, as it gets built out.
Great, thank you.
You got it, no problem. All right, guys, so I'm gonna hop off here. JC, thank you for taking the time. Ramsey, good to see you. And thank you for your time, everyone. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us. And yeah, happy to help you guys.
Thank you, Erwin. You're the man, brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. Have a good day, guys.